Kia ora and welcome to the first ever Cricketers Network podcast. I'm your host Ben Hurley and this is episode 1, series 1 of what I'm sure will be a long and enjoyable series for all cricket fans. This is the greatest game on earth and we're going to tell the story of the week's cricket from the perspective of the greatest boutique cricketing nation on earth, New Zealand. That's right. So how it's going to work is I'm the host. I'm not an ex-professional player, but every week I will have a ex or current professional cricketer with me as my guest, and we will go over the issues, the games, the general talking points from the ever-growing universe of cricket. So my first guest, what an honour it is for us to have him. He played 147 games for his country, 122 international white ball wickets, a bunch of valuable middle lower order runs, I'm going to say. The pride of South Dunedin and easily the most famous McCullum. Please welcome Nathan Leslie McCullum.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Nice to have you here, man.
Yeah, no, it's a pleasure and great to be part of the first episode. And I'm excited about this journey for past, current, and future New Zealand players.
Yeah, look, it's awesome that you agreed to do it, given that you didn't really know what it was. So thank you for diving off the deep end with me.
No, that's good.
Look, for those people who don't, I know you pretty well, but what have you been doing since retirement? Like, how long have you been retired now? About 8-9 years?
Yeah, 2016 World Cup in India was my final time in the black. So yeah, it's been a bit of a journey. Lots of awesome family time. Lots of time as a family with Vanessa, my partner, and my 3 boys who are now 11, 13 and 15, which is cool. And yeah, delved into a bit of work afterwards, went into the recruitment game, and then found myself actually in a construction company, TBW actually,
Nice.
And representing. Yeah. Went in as GM to originally bring some sort of structure, strategy, leadership, people, culture, high performance to the environment, managed to take ownership about 4 years ago. So now in third of TPW, and we're on an awesome journey, and it's a couple of good lads that I'm doing it with, and our GM's just come in for a small slice as well. So it's it's a good challenge. Totally different from cricket, I'll give you that. But it's also an opportunity for me to have a different life, and I'm living a great life now as well. That was the greatest time of my life, and this is another great time of my life. So.
Yeah. And how do you stay connected to the game?
Still the old game of golf with a few of the cricket boys. Just been up with the Aussie boys actually, so yeah, we won't hold that against me. But,
no, that's okay. I mean, look, everybody's friend now.
Yeah, exactly.
Dan Vittori's working for them, so like, there's no...
Yeah, you can blame it on him.
Yeah, there's no shade,
obviously still mates with a few of the lads, and always great to bump into the boys at different times, and playing in the Black Clash is actually a really good time to bring the band back together.
Because that's basically what the Black Clash cricket team is now, not the rugby team, but the cricket team is essentially that team from about 2005 to 2015, isn't it?
Yeah. And there's a few that might be coming off and a few that are coming on now.
Yeah, that's right. So, I think Southie's going to play this year, isn't
if I can hold on another few years until that changes to 2020. But no, it's a great time, and it's an awesome opportunity to share stories and lessons with the rugby boys as well, everyone gets on well.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good fun.
What about the boys, your boys? Do they play cricket?
Yep. No, they're into the game. They're all playing at different levels and have different games that they like, the longer and the shorter format. But they're also they're into it and keen on it. But they're into their golf as well. So I've now got a 4-ball on the golf course of McCullum's, which is pretty cool. So we get out there a bit and have a hit.
How are you as a sideline cricket dad?
Well, I often end up having a coach, which is unfortunate for me. I want to be one of those dads that sits there on the side and just drinks coffee and eats.
Yeah.
No, I often sort of help out in bits and pieces.
So when they were really little and they were like, playing under 10s or whatever, and then you'd turn up as the coach of the team. I mean, what did the other coach? He said, that's Nathan McCullum's the coach of their team. I reckon they're going to be quite good.
It's the best part about it, I reckon, is when because we all know what kids' sport can be like with coaches at different times, in rugby or football or cricket.
They can be a little overbearing, is that what you mean?
They can be, yes. And the kids just want to get out and play. And sometimes you get people that are really rule sticklers. And I suppose that's a good part of being a past player, is you can get a bit of respect from them, and we turn around and say it's all about the kids, it's not about us. So that's probably one of the biggest. That's
very zen of you. I don't know if you were ever like that as a player, were you?
Not on the field.
No, totally. Oh, I think that with kids cricket, the biggest thing that parents do wrong is yell run at their kids.
Yes.
All the time. There's always these mix-ups and run-outs because the parents are going, run, there's 3 there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And bring all their kids out drink bottles at drinks breaks.
All the separate ones.
So they can have a quick chat and just check in on them. But no, it's good fun. Good to be a part of it, coach the different boys at different sports, and it's awesome being able to be around.
Awesome.
Being away and living the dream when I was playing was awesome, but there was a lot of sacrifice that went into that as well, and a lot of challenge too. And I'm sure over time we'll discuss those things. That it is a hard time as a dad, as a partner, and for vice versa at home as well.
Yeah.
So there is those challenges, but it's cool to be present now and be around with them.
Yeah, it was probably easy back in the day where dads just didn't really do any parenting.
Yes, yeah.
Back
I know.
in the 60s and
I still remind my dad of that, and I'm like, how did things change from your generation to mine?
Yeah. We just constantly feel guilt all the time.
No, he was good. He was always there. It was more about the domestic duties, I think, and and what was going on in that respect. But yeah.
So very quickly, people who are watching on YouTube or whatever, you will see that we're broadcasting from Eden Park. Like, we've been given a space at Eden Park. This is the studio that we've built with producer Dennis over there, and it's incredible that we're on this hallowed turf of Eden Park. As a player, you don't play here much because it's such a weird sort of shaped ground, but do you have good memories of Eden Park? Yeah,
fantastic memories actually. One of the best memories, and I'm sure it'll be talked about at different times, is the semi-final of the 2015 World Cup. But a lot of other awesome memories and different games, and whether that be as a player or on the sideline or as a spectator, it's a beautiful place, and something that I've been privileged enough to play out there. So it's awesome.
Yeah, awesome. All right. So how the show sort of works is we'll talk about the stuff that pertains particularly to New Zealand up top, and then we'll sort of throw it wider and talk about general cricketing issues. Now, New Zealand currently in the midst of the Chapel Hadley series, the New Zealand men, that is. The Black Caps, game 1 was last night. A comfortable victory to Australia. They win by 6 wickets. There were runs though, there were positive signs. Runs for Tim Robinson, Daryl Mitchell, Matt Henry, as always, generally the pick of the bowlers. It was a pretty comfortable victory for Oz. But let's talk about the positives. Let's talk about Tim Robinson. Having 100 against Australia at any time is good. So that's a huge shot in the arm. And I don't know much about this guy. I know he's from Wellington. That's about it. How much do you know about Tim Robinson?
Yeah, not a lot. I've watched a little bit of him over the last couple of years, but Yeah, I was really impressed last night. Obviously, been in three for not many,
Three
and
for spit,
and being under pressure. I think it was awesome to have someone like Daryl come out and again, like someone like Daryl coming out and there's a no phase sort of mentality and just put the onus back on the Australian bowlers, or it's not just Australia. He's done that numerous times when we're in a bit of a pickle, and I think that sort of gave Tim a bit of freedom, and all of a sudden when it was 5 overs in, we were still around 40 or 50. But you could certainly see he was sort of a bit hesitant early, and then all of a sudden he got one away, and you just saw his bat swing change, and just the freedom, and some of the bombs that he hit. He's got some power, that boy.
He does, and he's quite good chat too. He's quite confident with talk afterwards. But actually, I thought Mark Richardson on the commentary made a good point. He goes, look, and I think when Rigger talks about T20, he always kind of has to make this apology that he never played it and was never going to play it.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah. But he says, look, I know this is T20, but have a look for a couple of balls.
Yeah.
And, we were 3 for 4 or something like that, 3 for 6. And Tim Robinson did have a look for a couple of balls. And I think it really helped.
Yeah, I think, and even the guys talked about it in the mid-break, that it did stick in the wicket a little bit, and things getting the pace
Always
of
does
it.
there, right?
It is. It is the 2nd of October as well, so we haven't all played at that time of the year. So there's going to be a little bit of a feeling there, but also we don't want to change the way that the guys play either. And like that, I'd say that first boundary shot that Tim Seifert hit was one of the best balls that Josh Hazlewood can bowl, and for him to be able to play that shot on the up through cover, that. In some way, for me, that still set the intent of the way that we were going to play. And for us to get through to 180 was great. And it doesn't necessarily matter how you do it. You can be 3 for spit and get through. But I think the intent in itself was positive.
Yeah, it was. Let's talk a little bit about Daryl Mitchell. Now, he does tend to be one of these players that plays better when we are in a bit of a pickle, to quote you to you. Where do these players come from, and why does that mentality, why do they thrive in that environment? BJ Watling was always talked about as another one who never seemed to cash in when it was a road, but when we were backs against the wall, that was when they made runs. So, you've played with some of these guys. Where's that mentality come from?
I can't speak for them, but I suppose part of it is experience and going through the failures. So you've tried to suck it up and do something and change your game, and then that hasn't worked, and then you've gone the other way and gone, if we go aggressive at them and have our certain zones that we hit, if they're in that, then we go aggressive, and then we get momentum, and then that changes the way the opposition is. But you only get through that through going through that a few times. It's not something that you can do immediately as an early player. So I think that's probably, if we look at the players that are in that category, it's over a period of time where they've been through the ups and downs, and they've figured out a way.
Would it be a concentration thing as well? Do you reckon you concentrate harder when you know you have to?
Yeah, I suppose so. And I suppose it comes, in some ways it comes down to simplifying things and going, less risk, but if it's there, I'm going. And that's what I see from Daryl, is that he's got his areas, and he's created a phenomenal record over the last few years. And he's a big part of the team, and obviously showed that again last night with his initial intent.
Yeah, I remember that tour to England where him and Tom Blundell seemed to score all the runs for us. And, when we would be 3 for spit and he would still walk down the wicket, second ball. And you're like, it's just a confidence that you don't often see in a Kiwi player. Yeah. And I guess maybe that's come from his upbringing in Western Australia. I don't know, He's got that good bit of positive arrogance about him that I think helps when your back's against the wall, right?
No, it's like I say, he's been a big part of it over the last few years, and I'm sure he will over the next few. So
I hope so too. Do you reckon the game was probably lost in those overs where after he went out, and Bevan Jacobs came in. He couldn't quite get the pace of the game, was a bit slow, potentially. I think he scored a sort of run a ball 20. Sort of overs 10 to 18, and I think Tim Robinson smacked a few at the end to bring it up to 180. Do you think it was a 210 wicket?
Look, I think even if you look at the way that it was holding and turning at different times later on as well, I think they're allowed to bowl well. Also, it's a partnership. Sometimes you do a run a ball when the other one's going.
True.
And all it would have taken was Bevan to hit a couple of bombs, and then he's on a strike rate of 120. We still got into a position where it was a winning score.
Yeah.
But you have to give credit to the way that the Aussie boys came out and played, and then it's up to us to figure out ways to adapt when they are going to come up that hard as well. So.
Yeah, I think what we really missed Mitch Santner, didn't we? Because I know you used to play this role, and Dan Vittori used to play this role as well. When they've got off to a flyer off the first 4, and then you bring in the spinner to put the handbrake on, and we don't have that in this team because Mitch is out. Michael Bracewell is a very good bowler, but a batting all-rounder, you would say, and we didn't have that option to come in and put the handbrake on, right?
Yeah, it was interesting. From what I saw last night, I actually thought Michael bowled quite well and could have given himself another over at that point, because he actually had there was one big boundary that they hit, but outside of that, a lot of it was once. And I think if he gave himself another over, then it might have. But it's one of those things where you got to keep changing it up and trying when they are going. But I've got full confidence in him. I think he's grown considerably as an off spinner in a short period of time.
Yeah.
He's got a very smart brain on him as far as defensive and attacking as well. So I think, yes, anytime Mitch Santner now isn't in the team, you're missing something. But I look forward to when he is there with Michael, because I think that tandem approach of spin as well can really add value. And especially when people are going one pace, if there's seamers at the other end, they've still got that same pace happening, and you can do whatever with the spin. So there was still some positives around the bowling. Like you say, Matt Henry, he's a weapon. And it's been amazing to see his growth and leadership over the last few years as well. But he just,
And heaps more change-ups now.
He just keeps doing it.
I know, just keeps doing it. When you as a spinner yourself, when you were brought on in that 4th over because they've got off to a flyer, how are you just darting it into their toes? Like are you bowling in a different way than if you were, say, brought on the 8th or 9th over? I think your risk profile is a lot less, and even in those middle over, like a lot of the time for myself and Dan, we used to talk a lot about it, is we would often only sort of give the guys, the batters, a go 4 or 5 times, depending on if we were on top, then the amount of times where we could risk would elevate. But if we were neck and neck, then the risk profile would come down, and if we were behind the 8 ball, then the risk profile would come down again. So it's just about knowing and evaluating your risks, and if you're going around the park and you have to come on, then your risk needs to be a lot less, unless you've been asked to come on and take a wicket where your risk profile has to go up. Yeah. Did you resent being the break glass in emergency option, or were you like, this is what I do?
No, look, in all honesty, that was part of my job, and that was a big part of my job, was to be able to shut down a team when they're going. And to figure out a way to do that, to know the fields that you needed to set and the balls that you needed to bowl, to not give them a boundary option, and to go for 6 singles and an over and bowl your 4 overs for 24, and that would enable the rest of the team to do whatever. So that was part of my job, and it was figuring out a way to do that any which way, and then you'd have different facets that you'd swing to as well. So. Yeah,
okay. So game 2 will come out tonight. Sorry, this comes out tomorrow, so the game 2 will be tonight. Any changes for you, or just go in again and and hope for a better result, essentially?
Yeah, I think. I wouldn't. I'd probably almost see Ish come in. The ball did start turning, and also I like the idea of 2 spin options to slow the game down and speed it up as you need, and the pace of the wicket. And the pace of the game.
And it'll be the same wicket for 3 games.
Yeah, the same wicket.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if he came in. But outside of that, I think you just got to roll with that. Obviously, you got Jimmy Neesham in there, who's a good player as well, and he'll get an opportunity at some point. Look. The beauty of New Zealand at the moment is there's numerous players that keep turning up and getting opportunities, and the environment's good where everyone feels like they're 6 foot tall and bulletproof and go out and perform. And that's really what it's about, is having an environment, whether you're playing your first game or your 100th, that everyone can go out and feel like everyone's behind them and you do your job.
Nice. All right, let's move on to the Women's World Cup now. Game 2 it was, New Zealand versus Australia was last night in indoor. Australia relatively comfortable winners there as well. Have you played an indoor?
Yes, I believe so, yeah. Indoor cricket, eh?
Indoor cricket, yeah. Have you ever played just off the wall for 2?
Yeah, just drop it down. I think I have once or twice. Yeah.
It's in that bit of India that's off to the east. You don't know what I'm talking about.
My geography was not very good, mate. So you're asking the wrong person.
It's like to the east of Bangladesh. Anyway, yeah. Do you know what? Katey Martin is there, and we're going to talk to her in a little while. She didn't know where it was either, and she was about to head there, so don't feel bad. Yeah.
That's good.
Look,
well, Katey's a fellow Dunedinite too, so that explains it, doesn't it?
Yeah, is that it? Is it just the poor education system down there?
Oh, wow, hold on a minute. King's High School Dunedin, represent.
Yeah, true. Yeah, you've done all right.
Yeah.
Look, the Women's World Cup, the 50 over version, only 3 teams have ever won it. So Australia, England, and we won it in 2000. Only World Cup winners ever, by the way, New Zealand women's team. Do you see anyone else putting their hand up this time?
I think those 3 teams are going to be there and thereabouts at the end. Maybe in India. And even one of the other teams might jump in there. But I think, in all honesty, if it can get to those final stages and we're in that last 4, then it comes down to your big players standing up for a long period of time. And if we can get people like, awesome to see Sophie last night scoring 100, some runs under her belt. We get a Susie going, we get an Amelia going, a Plummer going. And then you've got a bit of strength there, and then you get the spinners going as well with things. Then I think it's a building game for that tournament.
Yeah, I mean, Australia were 120 on for 5. Like we had them in a way, but then Ash Gardner comes out. I mean, that's the thing. It's just like the Australian men's team, but Australian women's teams got even more trump cards, right? All the way down. They've always got someone that seems to step up. Yeah,
and I think again it'll be first time playing in the competition. Bit of nerves when you're bowling, when people come out and put you under pressure. So they'll be better for that game. And I'm sure if they come up against them later on in the competition, like we say, if we can build to that, then it'll be exciting.
Now, as a lower middle order batsman yourself, when the team is 5 down for 120, do you start going, I've got an opportunity here? Or is it, obviously you want the best for the team, but you start thinking, I'm going to have a few overs here, right?
Yeah, I think you've got to have that mentality to go into it. When you're batting 6, 7, 8, you can be in when you're 6 for nothing. Or you could be in when you're 6 for 300 and you've got to bang the next 2 balls out of the park. But that's why you have specialists in that role, and you just have to switch your mentality. But it is around wanting to bat as much as you can, and if you get the opportunity, then you adapt and you make it work, and you build with the person that's out there, because again, you could be out there with a tail ender, or you could be out there with a senior batsman that's on 150.
But it's a strange feeling, eh? It's like, I don't want us to be 120 for 5, but also I want 30 overs to bat.
Yeah, exactly. It's about taking opportunities and doing that. Sometimes I wish I had taken more opportunities when there was those to bat. It was like, I can think of a couple right now where I actually didn't. But it's a good place to be. And like I say, you need specialists in that role that can adapt and enjoy the moment.
Nice. All right. So those were the two big games in the last 24 hours. I believe we are going to talk to Katey Martin from indoor. I hope that all works out. Otherwise, forget what I said there. We're going to talk about now some of the kind of wider issues that have happened in the world of cricket. Gary Stead, recently retired Black Caps coach, has a new role. Do you know much about this?
Yeah, a little bit. So Gary's actually been working with the Otago boys over the last sort of few months, getting them ready for the start of the season. While a new coach was appointed, Josh Tasman-Jones, which is cool. He's still sort of going to be involved as an oversight, and I think from what I understand, his role is coach and player development.
Oh, yeah.
So sort of a bit of mentoring, a bit of guidance, and a bit of support between that the senior team, the national team, and the major association teams, and then working in between. So I think it's an exciting opportunity to have someone that's been very successful with New Zealand over the last few years, and not only that, has a huge knowledge and experience of not just the players but the coaches. So it's I think it's going to be valuable, really valuable.
Yeah, I mean, the guy must just love it. You know, he's been the New Zealand coach for what, 5-6 years.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then he's just
I don't know if he's going to be full time though, is he?
I don't know.
He's down in Cromwell. He's going to be parking up in the deck chair a little bit. And, I don't think he'll be throwing balls all the time now.
No, true.
So.
I mean, if he's in Cromwell, there might be a little more focus on the Otago team. So you probably quite like that.
Yeah, wow, yeah. That's not bad.
I mean, it's always talked about that step up between domestic, success and national level. I mean, how did you find that yourself? Is it vastly different?
Yeah, I think what's probably different is the training environment. And the high performance environment. This was years ago when I was there. It's pretty different now from what I understand as well. Like in a sense, it's getting closer, and you've got a lot more players that have played for New Zealand now. Like in a year, we're using 30 players across the board now, 30 plus. So you've got players that have gone in and experienced international cricket. They're coming back. So it's not just one or two a team. It's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
Now, when you've got those players going back and forth, it's creating a further high performance environment, because they're bringing those skills back, and not just them, but the coaches as well, and that coach dropping in and dropping out too. So we can, it's pretty obvious to see why we've got a strong New Zealand team, and a strong base of players that keep going in and performing like a Tim Robinson.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I guess Super Smash sometimes gets looked at, by the rest of the world as the smallest competition. It is, definitely. Yep. but it still continues to produce really good players that are being successful internationally. So the gap can't be that wide.
Nah, and I think it's like you're still playing against world-class players. They're just New Zealand world-class players, and I think that's an important thing that we need to ensure that we keep doing is because and we want our New Zealand competition to be great, and it has been good, and at different times it doesn't, but you just got to adapt and keep sort of growing and developing, and there's still some great games of cricket, and like we see in any competition, but I really hope that everyone that's playing domestic cricket and even talking with some of the Otago boys, if you're playing domestic cricket, then you're not far away. So it's up to you if you want to make that step and how hard you want to work and how hard you want to believe and go into it. And if you can all do that together and be successful, then how good.
Yeah, totally.
Otago winning some competitions again.
It's about time.
Hey.
When was the last? Well, it was when you and your brother were in the team, wasn't it?
Yeah, but let's not.
Oh no, look, it's just you've got a smaller player, you're going to have bigger troughs and peaks, right?
It was interesting. I was talking with James Franklin the other day, who's with the Aussie boys as well, so you can't put it all on Dan.
What's he doing with Australia?
He's assistant coach with coaching with them now as well. So, and we're actually talking about how a number of the teams, like even Otago and Wellington, over the years, there hasn't been as many competitions as they won. But until we started winning, that's when you have that belief that you can win, but you've got to get that first one under the way. But I think he mentioned that the last time Otago won the 4-day competition was actually when my old man was playing in 1989, 1990. So
is that true?
Yeah, that's for us this year.
4-day cricket.
The boys are going to...
Well, South Australia did it in the Sheffield Shield last year, and it was a big deal, wasn't it? So maybe it's Otago's turn.
It's Otago's time.
Let's talk a little bit about, we've talked a bit about Super Smash. There was an article this week where, it's been talked about a lot, but it's resurfaced again. Should we have a team or maybe two in the Big Bash? Do you have any views on this?
Look, it's one of those things. It's been, to be fair, it's been talked about since I was playing in the Big Bash, however many years ago.
Did you play for the Heat?
No, Sixers.
Sixers.
And we won too.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, and the Champions League.
Yeah, okay. Why don't you play for the Heat? New Zealanders generally
play for the Heat. And Dan, actually, Vittori.
Right.
Yeah, look, it's been talked about for a long time. These sort of things get bandied about, and sometimes they come to fruition, sometimes not. There's obviously pros and cons for that sort of thing as well. And again, like we're talking about the Super Smash, it is really important for us to have our players playing against world-class New Zealand players and or international players if we can. But at the same time, there is opportunities for players playing, like we see Munners and that playing in the Big Bash and doing really well, or Finn and Tim Seifert. So I don't really know where that's at. As far as I'm concerned, it's more like things have been talked about. People will make those decisions. But it's an interesting one. Big Bash is a great competition. Can we do other things ourselves?
Yeah, I love the Big Bash too, and I don't know if that's really just because it's at a good time zone for me. But look, and I'm just saying as a fan, I think we should load everything into the Super Smash rather than put a team over there. Because look, I love the Warriors, you love the Warriors. The last time I saw you was in Vegas watching the Warriors. But having the Warriors, well, I'm probably better than you from what I remember. What that's done is it's completely gutted the domestic rugby league competition here. Like, it's great that we have a team in the NRL and most of the country is behind it. But if we had one team in the Big Bash and it's out of Auckland and they play here, is the South Island going to get behind that team?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I suppose there's so many pros and cons, and that's probably why it's taken, it's been talked about for years. Because there's pros and cons of everything. So yeah, not sure. Yeah. It's probably my gut feel.
Yeah. Okay, mate. Let's stick with Australia because I saw a thing this week that's kind of interesting. They're talking about. Well, they're actually trialling it in the Sheffield Shield, substitutes for injuries. So at the moment, I think across all professional cricket, there is unlimited substitutes for head injuries, for concussion. But now they're talking about it for other injuries sustained in the game, because obviously a major injury to a major fast bowler or something can completely, lopside the game. I remember a test against India a few years ago where Hamish Bennett broke down, and another fast bowler broke down, and a guy called Brendan McCullum had to bowl.
Don't remind me. He still reminds me that he's got more test wickets than me. Oh, yeah.
So now that they're trialling that you can substitute a like-for-like player, but here's my question. Couldn't you just fake an injury if you're having a bad test?
Well,
or a bad game?
I was just about to say, and not just you, but it's, you imagine getting the dreaded tap on the shoulder because you bowled 5 overs for 80 and said, "Your hammy no good, mate."
We've got an independent doctor here, and out comes Dr. Nick from The Simpsons.
His hammy's gone, so he's off, and then you bring someone else on and they both 5 overs, 2 for 10.
Yeah, because you can't travel with a doctor, surely. I don't like. So what I read is the match referee would determine. Now I don't know any match referees. I'm sure you do. Do any of them have medical training?
I don't think. Do they have a scanner in their pocket that can scan a hamstring? Because that would be my question: is how do you decipher what is an injury and what's not without someone just saying I'm injured?
Yeah.
And concussion is a different thing.
Of course.
Your concussion is not only a different thing, it's a very serious thing. My son's actually had a concussion for the last 4 weeks from being playing rugby and recovering. But it is a very serious thing. But there's a HIA, independent doctor, that's assessing that, and you can pretty clearly make those decisions. A pulled hamstring or a whatever it may be is slightly different. So yeah, I'm sure that people have thought of these things, and there's pros and cons, but I don't know if it's as simple as a straight swap.
Well, because they're also saying that you have to replace with a like for like. So you can't, for example, play a spinner and then suddenly it's not turning, so you go, hey, can you pull a hammy? And then we'll replace you with a fast bowler. So then as a travelling team, you've got to take 6.
Well, essentially you've got to take another batter, another bowler, another wicket keeper,
another spinner,
a left arm, right arm.
There you go.
Because
I'm sure they've thought about it more than this. But it does sound.
I don't think we're the brains trust.
No, that's true. I'm sure it's, all right. Now, there's a term that's been bandied around for about the last 10 or 15 years, the Fab Four, of course. They were Virat Kohli, Kane Williamson, Steve Smith, and I'm missing one.
Joe Root.
Joe Root, thank you, who's still playing. In fact, 3 of the 4 are. There's a new Fab Four. I believe Kane was asked about this himself in doing a media thing, a punishing media thing like we're making you do right now. And he named his new Fab Four, which was Shubman Gill from India, Jaiswal, also from India, Harry Brook from England, and Rachin Ravindra from little old New Zealand. Now, does this mean anything, or is this just one of these media things that they try and hype up?
I suppose when people talked about the Fab Four, the Root, Kane, Virat and Steve Smith, they had done that over a long period of time.
Yeah.
That's like 10 years of consistent run scoring. They've scored 30 plus hundreds each. Not only that, they've dominated in multiple formats. Like, they are absolute weapons.
And they were always head and shoulders above anyone. Like, players would come in and go. So, like, Martin Slavashane would come in for a year, maybe 2. He'd be ranked in there, but then he'd drop down and they would stay there. Babar Azam, same thing. He was around about for a few years, drops away. They stayed consistent that whole time.
And I think that's anyone can go in and do, like, those guys are obviously world class and they're aggressive players as well. So it's a slightly different Fab Four if they're talking about that, but you've got to do things for a long period of time before you get that mantle, is probably what I'd say. Are they there yet? Well, it's up to the public, I suppose, isn't it?
If you're Rachin Ravindra, how are you feeling right now being with that tag on you? Do you reckon that motivates him, or is it just unnecessary pressure?
Yeah, look, I don't think, from what I've known about him, I don't think that sort of stuff would faze him anyway. But look, I think he's a phenomenal talent. He's done some amazing stuff over the last 2 or 3 years, and I'm sure he'll continue to do so. And yeah, look, you can easily see him being one of those, but is it to the same level? Same period, I suppose, and I think that's the difference so far. Is we've got a snapshot, and let's see that go for a long period of time.
Nice. All right, well, let's just cover off one more thing, because here on the Cricketers Network we aren't just covering New Zealand domestic cricket and Black Caps and White Ferns, but we do genuinely have players, coaches, administrators all over the world, and we are all over that England team, right? We've got the head coach. We've got what's Southee? Is he specialist skills consultant?
Yeah.
Obviously Ben Stokes. He's a New Zealander. He's the captain of the team.
Yeah.
So let's say with the upcoming Ashes, we are Team England.
Yep. To be honest, I'm not either.
Right.
Like obviously, I want Brendan to do really well. I'm just really excited for this Ashes. I think it's going to be phenomenal cricket. I think the way that the game's going, the way both teams are playing, the skill set in both teams, with it being in Australia as well, I think is going to be a big challenge, and I think no one's going to back down. So. I'm actually really excited about watching it, and I couldn't pick who's going to win, but I think it's going to be pretty entertaining.
Because it's pretty even, and I think one of the major things that makes it even is it looks like Pat Cummins will not play at least the first test, and maybe the second test he won't play that either. So that's okay. They have Scott Boland, who averages about 4 in Test cricket as a bowler, unbelievable. He'll come in. They've still got a very good bowling attack, but if one more of those bowlers goes down, and they're not young, then you're into very new players, right?
Yeah, I think, and actually speaking to the guys over the last few years around that 5-test series as well, you got your fast bowlers can't play everyone.
Yeah,
often, right. So you're not going to have the same 4 fast bowlers or whatever playing every test. So, in some respect, that actually works out. If that was to be the case, that Pat doesn't play the first 1 or 2, and then comes home for the final 3.
Yeah, right.
But again, like you see the skill sets and some of these teams and some of these players, and not just the main squads, but the ones outside. They bring in another. They bring in another player, and like Chris Wokes has just missed out. Matt Potts is, like there's some great players in both teams, and not just in those squads, but on the external. So I think it's pretty cool.
Where do you see the strengths or weaknesses of either side? So I reckon Australia has some batting issues, particularly at the top of the order. Whereas England have some spin bowling issues. It's difficult as a spinner to play in Australia anyway, unless you're an Australian spinner, weirdly. Yeah. They seem to know how to do it. Right?
Yeah. And Nathan Lyon's pretty phenomenal, isn't he? Like, it's tough to compete against that.
But we've had really good spinners go there and play Test cricket, and they've played really well all around the world. Mark Craig is a good example.
Yeah.
Do you remember him? Like he was phenomenal everywhere. We had that one tour to Australia, and I don't know. I think he retired after that. It's not easy. So Australia don't have a great spinner. England don't have a great spinner. Australia do have a great spinner, but England have a phenomenal top 6, I reckon.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I think a lot of that sort of competition, the top 6 batters of England versus the bowling attack of Australia, is probably one of the biggest sort of things that is going to be the entertaining one. Someone will stand up for Australia with the bat. I have no doubt about it. And again, they'll have skill sets that and mindset around what they do. And you may find different players are going to play in different grounds as well, because they know those facilities and they're best suited. I've always wondered that around teams, and it's happening more and more, but teams changing more and more depending on where they go. Obviously, Australia do it when they play in Melbourne. Boland's one of the first ones picked because he knows how to bowl there. It'll be, like I say, it's going to be absolutely exciting test series, and can't wait to watch that over the summer holidays.
Prediction?
2-1 to Australia.
2-1 to Australia?
Yeah.
So a draw, and then obviously rain in Sydney? Yep.
Somewhere.
Yeah, there'll be rain somewhere, right?
Yeah, I reckon England will win one, mate, and then...
Adelaide?
Yeah.
They could bat them out of it in Adelaide?
Yeah. I don't know. I just think... Yeah, I think it'll be closer than what people think, but yeah.
Yeah, I know, it's really good, eh?
Yeah.
I'm very excited. All right, we are going to take a break now, and we're going to talk to Katey Martin from Indoor, we hope. If that doesn't happen, then we're just going to have a thing's going to go across the screen, or you're going to hear a noise, and then we're going to be back with Nathan McCullum with our listener questions. And live from Indoor, thanks to the magic of the internet, we have Katey Martin to give us an update on the Women's World Cup and the White Ferns. Now, Marto, not a great result overnight. The White Ferns going down relatively comfortably to the Aussies, but some positive signs in there, right?
Yeah, aren't the Aussies a pain in the butt? They team got them in a really good position. Australia were flying in the power play, and then Melly Kerr and Leah through the middle pegged them back, and 128 for 5. I thought, oh, here we go. And then just, a great 100 by Ash Gardner sort of took the game away, and they pushed over 300. But there'll be so much confidence that Sophie Devine scoring another 100, Skipper stepping up in the World Cup. I think 2022 she did the same century in the first game as well. So if she can keep doing that, it bodes well for the White Ferns. But yeah, they fought really hard, and I think it's just one of those games that you've got to do everything right and take those moments against Australia. And when we had them on the ropes, we just couldn't sort of get that extra wicket to push it, to give us a chaseable score.
Yeah, they've always got someone, don't they, the Aussies? Just, they've always got someone who'll step up. Even someone, she's coming at number 6 and smashes 100.
It's a high score from someone below number 6, which is an ideal for us. But yeah, that's just what Australia's like. They've got so much depth. But it was a very, very good innings, and I guess we did as much as what we could do to try and get her out, and it just didn't happen. But another game coming up against South Africa, and I think heaps of confidence out of that performance. Yeah,
I guess if nothing else, it sent a message, right? That there are performers in this team that can really stand up. Obviously, you said Sophie Devine. Great to see Leah Tahuhu, still steaming in, getting a few wickets, ripping out that Aussie middle order. But, how much ahead of the rest of the world is this Aussie team?
Yeah, quite a bit, to be honest. I think when I look at the Aussie side at the moment and seeing the position they got in against us with the bat, they're not untouchable. And I think sides will look at that game and performances maybe previous to say there is a bit of a chink in the armour. The one thing they do is they just go hard all the way through. They've pretty much got 10 batters they're number 9, number 10 bats for as an opener in their domestic competition. So that's how sort of freaky they are in terms of that depth. But I think for us to compete, and I think just the fight that they were able to show with the ball, I think will just give them so much confidence, knowing that if they can do it against a side that is out and out favourites to win this tournament back to back, I think it's a good confidence sign for the team. And look, your first game against Australia, you're not expected to win, and to put a performance like that with the ball for a good chunk of time, I think is a bit of a tick.
Yeah, was it just too many runs, do you think? Too big a chase?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sort of the wicket started to get a little bit up and down near the end, and the outfield was lightning fast, but the dew didn't come in, so not as much sort of assistance there. But when you sort of have a team in a position like that, and then someone comes out and scores 100 like that, it's sort of, yeah, it just lets the air out of the balloon a little bit. You walk back in the change room thinking, geez, what if we just had have picked up one more wicket there? Something could have been different. So I'm sure there was probably that slight feeling going into the changing room, and then, yeah, being none for two, and I think in the third over, and Sophie Devine coming in scoring 100 from that position. Yeah, it was sort of wasn't the ideal start that we would have wanted.
No, 2 ducks and Georgia Plummer run out without facing a ball. Jeez, not ideal.
Someone said, "Would you rather a diamond duck or a golden duck?" I was like, I don't know. Is there anything different apart from facing a ball?
Look, only 3 teams have ever won the World Cup. So Australia, obviously, England and New Zealand once in 2000. Do you think this is the tournament we might see someone new? Is India the rising power that it promises to be?
Yeah, they're a pretty impressive side. I think the only chink in their armour is probably their bowling lineup. They went in with 5 bowlers in that first game, and they got out of jail with the bat as well. But they're a side that can put 350 on in the blink of an eye, and they've got multiple players that can score hundreds in that side, and they know these conditions really well. One thing with this tournament is they're playing at different stadiums, so not the big main stadiums. So they're not as experienced at these other grounds. But generally speaking, in Indian conditions, they're very, very classy and can play spin well. So they're the biggest challenge probably. But I think, as we all know, as New Zealanders against India at World Cup and both the men's and women's, there's just a wee weird thing in terms of, I guess, that mental block against New Zealand. So it'll be intriguing, New Zealand coming up against them a little bit later on in the competition, and where everyone's sort of in terms of the table, how important that game is going to be, and whether that slight edge at World Cups against India works in our favour as well. But geez, they're a very good side with some world-class players.
Yeah, I guess this next game against South Africa is sort of the litmus test for this side, right? It's a game we should win, and it will really show us if we have a chance, right?
Yeah, I think when you line up with this tournament, you go out of England, India, and South Africa. If you can get 2 out of 3 of those games with a win on the board, you say that's probably the semi-finals. Taking away, obviously, that you say, oh, Australia, whatever happens in that game happens. But yeah, definitely need to if they can pick up that win against South Africa, who play England, New Zealand, and then India in their first 3 games, which is a horrendous schedule. That if they lose 3 of those, that's pretty much their World Cup done in a week, you would have thought. So it's a massive game against South Africa, and that one game you would target to say that's a win we definitely need to get on the board.
Now, you're an indoor. I saw you a couple of weeks ago. You had no idea where that was. I've just had Nathan McCullum in here. He had no idea where that was, and he's been there. Is there an issue with the Otago education system that they're not teaching you geography?
In truth, when I was at school, I thought I won't do geography because I thought it was for dumb people, and which I should have, because I'm not that intelligent. And I thought, oh, no one needs geography. Like, why does that matter? I'll go and do biology, which doesn't make sense. And anyway, now I'm really regretting not actually doing geography, because I'd like to know where in the world I am. And Mum rings up and she says, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know," and gets the map out of India. But it's sort of a little bit like Mumbai's sort of here and it's sort of down there. And then I'm off to Guwahati today, so that's sort of even a weirder thing, where it's sort of like it should be in Bangladesh. When you look at it in the map, it's like a little tip on the outside. And yeah, so at least I know where Guwahati is. But indoor, yeah, it's a weird name for a city, but apparently it's the cleanest city in India 12 years running.
Oh.
Yeah, and they love to party as well. I got woken up the first day, the room absolutely thumping with they hire these party buses, and on the back they have DJs, and there's about 20 strobe lights, and it's just like the music, it's got these LED lights, so it has pictures of whoever's hired them out just flipping over, and then 50 people dancing behind this truck, and it's going about 2k an hour. So about half an hour later, it's finally gone from one end of the hotel to the other. Yeah, they love it over here, and that's not at a 6 o'clock in the afternoon. It's a 12 o'clock at night situation. So
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like there's a lot of colour and, sort of festive joyousness, which you couldn't say about your backdrop at the moment.
well, I am in a hotel room, and that's literally the door. It's actually quite a good room, to be fair, but yeah, Mum always tells me off I don't keep my room that clean, so it's probably a better view than the opposite view. But joys of hotel rooms.
Yeah, it just looks a little bit like a hostage situation, but I'm sure you're safe. Thank you so much. Look, I know it's 6 in the morning there, and you had a late night last night, and obviously then you were partying on the party bus for a couple of hours, and you've got up to talk to us this morning. So thank you so much, Katey Martin. I'll let you go get your flight.
It's good to see you not wearing your Stag's hat, though.
No, I had to go neutral today. I've got blue, and I've had 2 Otagans on the show, so...
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Safe travels. We'll hopefully talk to you again during the tournament.
Thanks, mate.
Okay, welcome back. Thank you to Katey Martin, we hope. And best of luck for White Ferns' next game in the World Cup. Now, every week we're going to do listener or viewer questions, but this is the first episode. We don't have any yet. We don't have any listeners or viewers.
Is that a reflection on me or you?
No, more me. Definitely more me. So what I've done is I've just asked my mates for some questions for you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So This one comes from a D. Henwood of Avondale.
Oh, here we go.
Yep. And he would like to know the story behind the nickname. Now, you hear through the stump mic or whatever when you were playing, it was Mattress, it was Mad-Eye, it was Mateo, it was any kind of variation of mattress, I believe.
Yeah.
And I have known you for a long time now, and I don't actually know the story myself.
Yeah, well, it's not what you think, which what most people would think. That I wasn't amazing with the girls or anything.
Okay,
so,
yeah. I thought it might have something to do with that. No.
It was. I used to get injured a lot when I was playing for Otago, and one of my great mates who was playing with me for a long period of time. Like every time I'd get off the field, my back or something would be on the physio table, and he's like, God, you're soft. You're just like a mattress. And then that just stuck. And so it's like soft like a mattress. And then from there, we went out and we were playing a 4-day game. And it was like, come on, mattress, come on, and then there was all these different options of it. And then that just went from there. And then all of a sudden it was worldwide.
Soft like a mattress.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
But you're not.
Because I was always injured with, all sorts and on the physio table.
But the irony is, you're a retired cricketer and your body's actually in pretty good shape.
It's actually probably the best it's been for years.
Yeah, you see all other cricketers sort of hobbling around. You actually walk like a normal human.
Oh, I'm all right, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not playing football anymore at the moment, but yeah, that's all right though.
What's worse for the body?
Yeah, that was pretty...
Football?
Yeah.
It's worse than cricket?
Well, it was at my age. I played my first game years ago back, and within the first 10 minutes I pulled my hammy and I was like, oh, yep, I'm off again. But,
or did you pull your hammy?
Well, substitute. Bring a better striker on.
Yeah. Well, if you have to, you have to, right? Now, I've got another question here. I'm sure you've answered this one before as well, but this comes from a T. Lyle of Te Atatū. What was backyard cricket in the McCullum house like growing up?
Well, it's clear who was batting and who was bowling, isn't it?
Yeah. Or was he keeping?
Oh, no. He would, if he got out, he'd just go, well, I'm not playing anymore. So... So he'd throw his toys and I'd actually want to play. So, it was good. It was good fun.
I guess the old man was involved a lot as well as a former cricketer.
No, he was into it. But we used to play heaps with all of our mates, and we actually had a grass pitch in the backyard in Old Waterloo Street, and we had a roller. And we had white paint, and we rolled that, and we actually played with cricket balls at different times as well. Like, she was a pretty short pitch though, so it was good fun. Numerous windows broken, holes in the in the weatherboard house, and but yeah, look, we're outside playing cricket, rugby, football. That was what we did. Yeah. We used to spend a lot of time in the holidays actually going down to school and with all of our mates. And literally, it was like we were there more. We liked that more than going to school. So at the holidays, we actually spent more time at school, and we would just park up there and play sport. A lot of it was cricket with all of our mates. So yeah.
And I mean, obviously competitive, but you're the older brother.
Yes, competitive. Yes, yeah, it was definitely competitive. But yeah, we're often on different tack. But it was awesome. It was cool, and you've got to have that. And it's pretty cool now going in the backyard with my boys. We've got an artificial turf set up when we get out there with the swing tape ball. And brought the kids.
Do you bowl a bit of seam up, do you?
Oh yeah, and with the swinging ball.
Do you know how to do that?
Yeah, I used to be a seamer until I was 12. Did you know?
No, I did not know that. Was this due to an injury?
No,
that you changed?
No, this was I was at Form 2 tournament and I was captain, and I bowled first change. I bowled massive induckers like Harry, but a bit quicker.
I mean, it's not a high bar.
No, it wasn't.
No.
And our spinner actually broke his arm 2 weeks before we went. So we turned up with no spinner. And then the coach was like, we need someone to bowl spin. Do you want to bowl spin? I was like, I'll give it a crack. And then I started bowl like 20 overs from one end, and then just decided, well, I'm not going to be blooming show a back tar. So how about I just bowl, and that's where, I just bowled off spin from there.
Okay, so this actually leads into the next question, which is also from D. Henwood of Avondale. I've only got 2 mates, so that's all you've got. How hard is it choosing to be a spinner in New Zealand, given that our conditions are really not conducive to that? I mean, were you aware you were in for a world of hurt?
No, I didn't. I didn't know that the grounds were as small as they are when you're 12.
Yeah.
It's like those short boundaries with the kids, and they bring them right forward now, and I'm like, far out. That's like playing at Eden Park. Look, it was great. Like I say, it was the best decision I made, and really enjoyed it. I was fortunate enough to grow and develop all the way through, and have Dan, who's now a great mate, and he sort of mentored me and guided me through. Learned a lot off him, and then I was able to sort of do that with some of the other kids coming through too, and work with Dan and work with Mitch and Ish and some of those boys. So it was awesome. I certainly wasn't an orthodox spinner.
Yeah, right.
It wasn't about trying to turn it this far. It was figuring out a way to make it work through your change of pace and your lines and your links and your fields. So it was good fun. But I don't envy the boys now with the size of these bats and the grounds feel like they're getting smaller and smaller, especially here in New Zealand. But
do you spin bowlers have a group chat where you just all go, oh God, I got to play Eden Park this week?
No, but maybe we should set one up. Yeah.
All right, last question, and I'm going to actually ask this to every guest that we have, and this is from me. If you could be any other kind of cricketer, what would you be? In that you're a off spinner, punishing lower middle order batsman, but you could choose to be any other kind of cricketer. What would that be? Opening batter, big, leggy, fast bowler.
I reckon I'd be the Andrew Flintoff, the bowl 90 miles an hour and bash it everywhere.
Yeah, like a number 6.
Number 6, but opening bolt and can just hurt people when they want to. Anyone that gives them shit when they're batting, you can go in and just put a few up round their nose and make them feel uncomfortable as well.
Because you can't really do that as a spinner, can you?
No.
Yeah.
It's not the same effect.
Can't intimidate, can you? I could see that for you. I mean, you've got the shoulders for it.
Yeah, just not the stature.
Yeah. As you say, you made a good decision. Yeah. Well, that brings us to the end of number one, episode one, series one of the Cricketers Network podcast. My thanks to Nathan McCullum. Thank you so much.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah,
awesome.
Great.
Thank you.
If you like what you hear, click subscribe and do all those things. But we'll be back next week with another guest to chat all things cricket. We'll see you later.